All right, this is heat number 3. Now we've got several athletes to keep an eye on in this heat, and these are men that are used to lifting heavy weights and carrying them long distances. Josh, some of the favorites in this heat, I'm looking at Neil Maddox, I'm looking at Dan Bailey, Ben Smith. Tell me why these are people to keep an eye on.
We've got athletes that have proven in the regional competition that they can hammer out handstand push-ups, which is what we've seen as the key to getting through this workout. Now the handstand push-ups are a little bit different here than they were at regionals. One, they're at parallettes, makes them harder. Two, they're to a deficit, or they have to go about an extra foot deeper because the parallettes are elevated. So that makes it harder as well.
There's Austin Malleolo on your screen as he finishes carrying the medicine ball down the field. He's starting in on his handstand push-ups. He is incorporating a kip. He's in lane number 4, and that is Austin Malleolo. Now, just if you're joining us, a quick recap on what this workout involves. 3 rounds for time, 8 medicine ball cleans, 150 pounds on the medicine ball. Then they have to take that same medicine ball, carry it down the field of play 100 feet, do 7 parallel handstand push-ups, grab the medicine ball and carry it back down to the starting point. In the blue shirt, Dan Bailey, just ahead of Austin Malleolo.
And Dan Bailey, who has the world record on Diane, which involves handstand push-ups and deadlifts, 2 similar movements to what we have right here, took the lead on the handstand push-ups. How he did it, he went strict on the handstand push-ups, no kip. It takes more upper body strength, more upper body endurance, but is faster. We'll see if he can continue going non-kipping handstand push-ups through the next 2 rounds.
And there's Daniel Kaminsky, number 51, former military Army personnel.
Now for those watching the technique on this medicine ball clean, normally we're taught not to lift things up with a rounded back. You'll see all the athletes have a rounded back here. This is a safe move. It's a little bit different, and they get that medicine ball up against their gut, and that serves as a stabilizer for their spine. So their spine isn't at risk with the round back here. When you lift with the barbell or other objects, you'd want to have that natural S-curve in your back.
And there's Dan Bailey from the Central East Regional, just edging out Austin Malleolo. He drops the medicine ball, and will start in on his 2nd round of handstand push-ups. Must complete 7, and the prior round he did them unbroken and he did them strict. He's doing the exact same thing here. 3 in, he has 4 left.
Great exercise for Dan. He's one of our lighter competitors in the competition at 174 pounds, and also he has cannonball delts. So going to be a great exercise for him. Now his strict handstand push-ups kind of went away there, and now he had the kipping in the bag to utilize them to get through the rest of his set. Great strategy on Dan Bailey's part.
And he can do either. He has that option. There's not a penalty for doing one or the other. He is our current leader as he finishes round number 2. He only has 1 more round. He's going to drop the medicine ball. He has to do 8 medicine ball cleans where he drops them over his shoulder behind him.
And he's handling this medicine ball very well. Keep in mind, the medicine ball is only about 20 pounds lighter than Dan, so he's almost doing a body weight medicine ball clean here. This is much different than the medicine balls you see in your local Globo gym that go up to about 10 pounds. This is 150 pounds that he's lifting up and over his shoulder each and every rep.
So Chase Daniels on the left in the salmon colored t-shirt. On the right is Dan Bailey in the blue t-shirt. Dan, number 30, is our current heat leader. This is heat number 3 of the medicine ball handstand push-up workout. The winner of this entire event will earn 100 points towards their total.
And these points are crucial. The men in this heat still have a legitimate shot at getting on the podium at the end of Sunday, but they need to score a lot of points in the remainder of the events to do so. They're behind right now that 4th heat. They need to make up points by doing very well in passing, having faster times than the gentleman in heat 4 that is coming up later.
There's Jeremy Kenick out of the Southern California regional. There's a good look at Dan Bailey as he starts in on his last set of 7 handstand push-ups from the parallettes.
We'll see if he paced a little bit better than Jason Khalipa. Now he's going to his kip a little early. He's starting to struggle. Now he is resting without getting off the parallettes, and he misses.
Okay.
Now, if he's learned anything from Jason, take a little more time than you think you need before you get back up there.
So we're 4 minutes and 50 seconds into this workout. The time to beat, 6 minutes and 16 seconds, set in the last heat by Albert Dominic LaRouche.
Dan's down to 1 rep at a time. You don't want to get yourself in this position, but that's where he's at. He's got to deal with it. He's got to adjust. He's got to move on. And Neil Maddox, did he just pass him? Is Neil in first right now? He's
Neil Maddox, who we felt would do really well on this workout. He has a football background, and they're used to moving a lot of heavy weights.
He's got to be going to his last round. He'd be sprinting if he was going to his finish. I think Dan here is still in the lead.
Time to beat, 6 minutes, 15 seconds, and Dan Bailey still has a chance to do that, but he has to finish these handstand push-ups.
And this has taken him a long time. He flew through those first 2 rounds. It's taken him a little bit longer.
Looks like he has 2 left, Josh. Looks like he has 2 left. So in the blue shirt, in lane number 3 is Dan Bailey. In lane number 4, right next to him, is Austin Malleolo. Austin Malleolo has 4 handstand push-ups left. Dan Bailey is only ahead of him by 1 or 2 reps.
It's got to be a big kick with the legs and ride the wave on up.
There he goes. All right, well done on his part. Austin Malleolo right next to him, trying to catch him. Dan Bailey is taking that medicine ball. He's got to carry it 100 feet, and then he will be done with this workout. He will not beat Albert Dominic LaRouche's time of 6 minutes and 17 seconds, but it will bode well for his overall chances in this competition. Dan Bailey, your heat number 3 winner, with an unofficial time of 6 minutes and 30 seconds. There's Austin Malleolo, and just struggling to get that in the right position, and there's got to be an element of balance involved there, Josh.
Yeah, you've got to get that in the right spot. You see Ben Smith also closing in there. He still has another round, apparently, Ben Smith. Austin Malleolo finished here, our 2nd place finisher. Great guy, outstanding coach and athlete, Austin. Very dialed in with his nutrition and his training, and tells everybody around them how to train and eat as well. Just a high energy, great guy that really values people and their training regimens.
A great competitor, a great coach. Now there is a 10-minute time cap, so these athletes must complete all of this work in 10 minutes. And there's a good look at Chase Daniels, number 23, as he's sprinting down the field with 150 pounds on his shoulder. The judge right next to him, ready to push the button right on time.
About 7:35 for Chase. Not happy with his performance, but overall it's pretty good. You've got to remember what they've been through today and also Wednesday. Accumulated fatigue showing here in this last event for Friday night.
And there's Jeremy Kenick as he is closing in on, it looks like, his 2nd round, and just about to start his 3rd and final round.
Jeremy Kenick is a guy that struggles with those handstand push-ups. That's been an Achilles heel for him over the years. One of my favorite stories and favorite athletes, Jeremy Kenick. He didn't start out as a great athlete. Built entirely through CrossFit. I think his first time with Fran was something like 12, 13 minutes. Most of these guys at the games made light work of Fran the first time they ever experienced. Lucas Parker sprinting through the finish here. And
Josh, you mentioned Fran. Fran is a workout. It's a named workout that athletes are very, very familiar with if they've been involved with CrossFit at any amount of time. They have to be 21 reps of thrusters and 21 reps of pull-ups, and then they've got to do 15 of each and then 9 of each.
Yeah, and Fran, for those that aren't familiar with CrossFit, if you go into a Globo Gym environment, they ask you, what's your bench press? For CrossFitters, that question is, what's your Fran time?
All right, we're approaching the 9-minute mark of this workout. There is a 10-minute time cap. There's Neil Maddox as he finishes his last set of handstand push-ups, sprinting down the field with 150 pounds on his shoulder, and will finish with an unofficial time, 9 minutes, 14 seconds. Neil Maddox.
Definitely not where he wanted to be. He was one of my picks to be on the podium. I thought he was going to figure it out and get it together this year. Physically, one of the most gifted athletes here, has not performed well at the games, has done really well at regionals and other smaller events, but not finishing in Carson, California, where he'd like to be.
And there's Daniel Kaminsky as he finishes the Medball-Handstand push-up workout. He did win the last event, which was the track triplet.
Yeah, so Daniel's strong competitor, feeling the day right there. You know, it was very humid today. You know, not a typical Los Angeles day. We had some rain in the morning, a lot of humidity all day, and right now the sun is out and pounding on these athletes.
And you hear the buzzer. That is the 10-minute time cap. There's Dan Bailey and Austin Malleolo. And Dan Bailey, your heat number 3 winner. We'll have to see in a moment where that stacks him up in the overall race.
So Dan Bailey, I think that puts him in 2nd overall out of these top 3 heats. 2nd overall so far with 1 heat to go. So not a bad spot for him to be in.
Okay, so that is the case, it looks like. So unofficially, he is in 2nd place overall in this event. And that is really going to help him out. I know he was disappointed after that track triplet with his performance there. It seemed like he's jumped out to an early lead and faded fast after that. So looks like he learned his lesson for the medicine ball handstand push-up workout that he just completed. And like we said, if he's sitting 2nd overall, that's going to help him out if he can hang on to that position.
Yeah, and what a beautiful combination of events here, or exercises here. We've got that heavy 150-pound med ball clean, again, big guy advantage here, and then we've got a very difficult gymnastics movement in the handstand push-ups to a deficit on parallettes. Just a nasty combination that is going to expose your weakness. You might have something you're good at, but there's going to be something you're weak at here as well.